One of the things that I talked about in my previous book, The Collaborative Organization from 2012, is helping make sure that employees understand how and why these technologies are an improvement from what they had in the past. So if you're a manager, if you're a leader inside of your organization and you want your employees to use these new digital technologies, it's not just about training them on it or giving them the tools, but it's partially about helping them understand why and how these technologies are going to improve the ways in which they work. So some education here is required as well. And believe me, I certainly get it. Change is hard. I can't tell you how many times I talk to employees who are using their legacy CRM or ERP or file sharing applications. And although they might be outdated, they just know where everything is because they've been using it for so long. And so making that shift to something new, even though that new thing is better and easier and will allow you to be more productive, is hard. So I know there will be a little bit of a learning curve, but I promise you, if you get through that learning curve, you will absolutely see the benefits. For those of you working inside of organizations that are rolling out new technologies, I highly recommend that you take advantage of the different learning and training opportunities that exist for these new technologies. One of the things that I find is that a lot of organizations actually have some sort of training and development programs, but a lot of employees just don't take advantage of them, and I think that is a huge mistake. So if you are in an organization that is looking to roll out something new, I want you to be the first one that gets on that beta program. Be the first one that goes through that training program. Make sure that you are taking advantage of those opportunities because it will absolutely come back and pay dividends for you later. One of my favorite examples, and I may have used this in one of the previous videos, is from PwC. Now, PwC has hundreds of thousands of employees around the world, and they are on this effort to digitally upskill all of their employees. And so they created a program called the Digital Accelerator Program. And as a part of this program, they developed an app. It's called the Digital Fitness App. And what's really cool about it is that employees download the app to their phone, and then they can take a quiz that will give them an assessment on what their technology skills are in particular areas. And then after you get that assessment, it knows where your technology strengths are, where your technology weaknesses are, and it will push content to you and recommend content that you should be consuming to help upgrade your technology skills. I mean, how cool is that? And these are different types of technologies. It could be the Internet of Things. It could be augmented or virtual reality. It could be automation. All these different types of technologies. Once you go through this assessment, it understands what you are comfortable with, what you know a lot about, and what you might not know that much about that you should know about. And again, it's really cool that you open the app and it just feeds you this content. It might be a TED Talk. It might be an article. It might be a podcast. Just stuff that you should be consuming and paying attention to help digitally upskill yourself. And PwC is one of the few organizations that have taken it to this extreme, which I really love, but chances are your organization has something, I hope, that you can start to take advantage of. If not, then the accountability falls a little bit on you to teach yourself the skills that you need to know to be successful. And as I mentioned, it's never been easier to do that. You have a lot of access to online training tools and platforms, YouTube videos, lynda.com, Coursera, Khan Academy. You can teach yourself whatever technology skills you need, and it's pretty inexpensive, oftentimes free, and it doesn't require a lot of time and effort and energy for you to actually learn these new technologies. I also want to encourage you to not be afraid to ask for help. This is also something that I see inside of organizations. There might be some employees who just get it. They understand the technologies, they understand how they should be using these technologies, and some employees are kind of like, man, how did they do that? I can't seem to figure this out. Go ask them for help. In fact, I see a lot of reverse mentoring programs in organizations where an executive, somebody who's been at the organization for a few decades, might be paired up with a millennial. Somebody that seems to just get technology and is used to it and is able to embrace it. And it is that millennials' responsibility to then teach or train this executive on how to use a certain type of technology. Now, it's not always a millennial that's doing it. I'm just using that as an example. It could be anybody that is really fluent with technology that is helping teach or train an executive who is maybe having a hard time with using different types of technologies. So inside of your company, ask people for help. You can also experiment with trying these type of reverse mentoring programs as well, because they're definitely very effective. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Check out futureofworkpodcast.com for more content. And do me a favor, leave a review on Apple Podcasts or whatever your preferred channel is. Thank you.